I'm originally from the Chicago area. I've been in the field 26 years. I come here to you as a psychotherapist. I've only been a trainer, professional trainer, in the latter part of my career. I've spent 26 years working in various clinical, with various clinical populations, anywhere from a psychiatric hospital, outpatient therapy, community counseling. I've been in private practices. I now own my own counseling agency in Arlington Heights, Illinois. One of the things that I love to do is I love to write and I love to teach. And as of a couple years ago, I decided to do more and more seminars. And this is my attempt to teach you guys what has worked for me, therapist to therapist. I also am an author of a book called The Human Magnet Syndrome, Why We Love People Who Hurt Us. The book really is about this training. The book comes from the idea of the training. I live in Vernon Hills, Illinois, and I work in Arlington Heights, Illinois. I have this training designed to be, a little bit entertaining. There's music, there's some videos. I have a couple jokes in there. So my goal is to give you guys a full 6-hour experience that will change your career. I've been doing this training for almost 2 years, and this training is special and near and dear to me. This training is not one of the trainings that I've done where I talk about something that I learned from someone else. And those have been fun trainings. For example, one of my specialties is sex addiction and love addiction or teen problems. This training comes from my own personal experience. It's born out of a codependent's desire to stop the madness. There came a point in my own life where I just had to figure out what is going on with me, Ross Rosenberg, the person, who happens to be a therapist. I myself had been in multiple relationships and been in a failed marriage, a very ugly divorce. I kept finding myself in relationships with women who I felt were narcissistic, who I felt were hurtful. And I always pictured myself as the giver, the caretaker, the patient one, and I was falling in love over and over again with these women that seemed so perfect in the beginning, beautiful, a lot of charisma, a lot of character, and just like all of us, we meet someone that we're attracted to, and we just feel they're right. We fall in love, or we're involved in, or enveloped in that what we call that experience of limerence, which I'll talk about later, and then 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, that cloud of that wonderful cloud of love kind of disappears and someone's true personality is there. That's the human experience. But for me, that person was always harmful to me. So analogous to an alcoholic. An alcoholic has to hit bottom. A drug addict has to hit bottom. And until they hit bottom, they can't see in themselves what everyone else sees. And I had this moment of time about 10 years ago where I hit bottom. And the pain, the emotional and personal pain that I felt because of the succession of relationships with women that I would fall in love with that would end up hurting me. So at this point in my life, I was talking to a friend, and a friend said to me, a wise friend who always likes to tell me what my problems are, he says, Ross, obviously who wasn't a therapist, the problem with you is you pick the same person but with a different face. And it was the most profound statement that I had heard in my life about my relationship pattern. It was the first time that I considered that maybe, just maybe, it's about me, not just this nice guy with bad luck. That I am somehow finding the same type of personality over and over again. So I went back into therapy with a vengeance. I was going to figure this out. If this had to do with me, I could fix it. I was going to solve it. Because up to that point, I thought it was bad luck. Because I'm pretty good at diagnosing people. And once these women became harmful, I could see what was wrong with them. So in this therapy process, in this journey of mine, this healing, this transformational journey, I started to figure out that there's a pattern that is universal, a pattern that occurs in all relationships. We are unconsciously drawn to people. There's an unconscious attraction. And the attraction is based upon our personality types. And that was the moment in my life and my career I started to really do much better therapy. I already had been doing, I think, pretty effective codependency and trauma therapy. But the more that I learned about this pattern, the more I was able to help my clients go beyond their own patterns and find what I call codependency recovery. So this training comes from this personal experience. And from this personal experience, and from this training, we've been doing this 2 years now, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's been a great success. But this training affects people. This training opens up people in a way to look at themselves as a therapist and a person, because we are only as good as our own mental health, and teaches you a new paradigm. It doesn't matter how good you are as a therapist. You can be the most brilliant therapist in the world. If you don't recognize a problem, you don't see a problem, you don't understand a problem, all the therapy skills in the world will not work. So this is a training about a paradigm, about a way to understand a problem and perhaps yourself.